First, this video is not legal advice. Nothing in this video should be construed as legal advice. This is all for educational and entertainment purposes only. Okay, I am thankfully not a bar attorney. This is not an offer to be your attorney. Keep that in mind as we produce and continue with this video. We're going to be talking about how to draft a court document. Okay, it's going to end up looking like this. And we're going to talk about different vocabulary and different, formatting, things like that. Okay, we're just going to recreate this document that I have that I've redacted a few things, and we'll explain kind of the whole enchilada, if you will. So let's begin. I tend to start all of my filings that I'm doing with an internal filing number for my purposes, okay? And so that's what this highlighted portion is here. This is my filing number, okay? So on the very first line, for me, it works to have it aligned to the right-hand side. I guess I don't want to do it like that. Okay, so I go to over here, I go on the right-hand side, and I type in the filing number. I like to use Courier font and 12 point, right? So before I start anything, I just select everything, Control A, and I make the whole document the filing the font that I like. And I'm typing in filing number, and of course, for my filing purposes, I know that all corrections are the 4000 series. So I'm starting a new series, as you can see. So I'm making a correction in this. This is a notice of motion to prohibit public access. These are real cases. These are all criminal cases that were maliciously prosecuted. There is no way around it, and it happens all the time up here, and we're working as a group. That's why we're in the group, to address it. So that's part of the reason why we're in the group, to address it. Okay, so I am using that filing number for my own internal purposes, okay? And like say I have, so this is the notice of motion to prohibit public access. When I actually file the motion with this will be filing number 0004002, for example, okay? That's how I'm using filing number. Now we're gonna actually talk about the location. This is the location of the jurisdiction that it is talking about. Notice that it's styled in all capitalized letters, denoting it as a corporation. And so we're going to, and this is the reason that I have styled it this way, is this is the way that it was presented to me. So notice it's not North Dakota, and it's not styled like this word, for example, with the upper and lower case. It is all capitalized, and it is state of. I know that to mean corporation. So they want to come in the capacity of corporation. I'm going to style the document as the capacity of corporation as well. Okay, so on the very next line, right here, I'm actually going to go over to the left-hand margin now, and I'm going to, and I would find this on the presentment, the uniform commercial summons, the uniform summons, or whatever they call it, the citation, the whatever it is, okay? And so that's where I get that. And on the right-hand side, it is the district court. Sometimes this is municipal court. Sometimes this is, whatever court family court, what have you. So we're just going to name it. So I tab over, and then I give spaces until it enters onto the next line, and that's how I know that I have what I need. Okay. I'm just going to make a quick check that all of the font is indeed in the right color that I want. Perfect. And so then on the next line, this is going to be the county now. Same styling, same everything as the state of North Dakota, same exact thing. It is the Northwest Judicial District here in North Dakota. Again, be very careful coming to this particular district, and people will tell you why that is. Okay, and so then on the very next line, I'm going to enter in the plaintiff. Okay. And from here, Notice I used parentheses in my previous filing. I enjoy that a lot, but on this one, I'm going to actually be showing how to use the line feature in Word. So, if you're using Google Docs or something, maybe this is more convenient for you. I'm just going to use it's going to be the same exact thing. It's just I'm going to superimpose a line right here for the caption. This is what's called the caption now. So from here to here is what we call the caption. That's the official vocabulary for that. And all of your court filings are going to have that unless you're filing an exhibit, which is a piece of evidence that you'll include with your filing. Okay, and we'll talk about that as well. But for now, City of Williston, right? And then on the next line, actually, I'm going to skip a line, as you see, right? This line, and then we skip the line, and then we're going to name the plaintiff, right? So we'll skip a line here, and then we'll go down to city plaintiff. Okay, and then we'll do that again. I'm going to have judge be on the same line. So sometimes you can phrase it like this. Okay, and you can tab it over. Cool, and you can have it all on the same line, or you could have it be, like this here. However works best for you. I just know that a lot of space will be taken up by the case numbers. Typically, you're just going to have one case number, but they really wanted to completely destroy me by doing 5 cases for one incident. All right. So you'll run into that sometimes. Anyhow, I'm going to skip another line. We're going to do the verses. And this is where I'm actually going to introduce the case number, okay? And so I'll tab that over. Just so that I'm clear, okay? We're going to have the plaintiff versus the defendant on the left-hand side of the caption. On the right-hand side, we're going to be introducing the judge and the case number, and then the actual title of the document itself, denoting what the document even is, okay? That's what a caption is consisting of, and so that we're gonna move into that. Now I have on the very next line, I'm not having anything on the left-hand side here, but I am going to be citing all of my cases. I would spend time typing that for you, but today I'm just going to actually copy and paste. Okay, so we'll see it like that. Okay, I'm gonna actually get rid of those. So that's the cases, okay? Now I'm noticing that there's, my spacing isn't perfect. It doesn't need to be perfect. And also you're noticing on the side here, I don't have every number, the page numbers, I'm sorry, the lines numbered. You're going to see that being more of a requirement in federal venues. This is we don't need to have all of our lines numbered in the state venue at the moment. So that's why I haven't got it formatted that way. Okay. I am going to enter in, this is how it was presented to me, so I will use the same styling that they did for, the defendant. Okay. That is how they did it for me, and so I'm going to repeat that, okay? Now, on this line, I think it is, yep, I'm going to actually call, sometimes people say, if it is indeed in error, you can do defendant in error, you can do many different things here, and we can talk about that in the group. Obviously, I'm very welcoming to all questions so that we can develop a conversation. That's how we're going to learn the most, is by having relevant and effective questions about things. But for right now, they identified this corporate entity, ens legis legal fiction, as the defendant. I know that that's not who I am as the, uh, living, breathing man talking to you here today. So I'm just going to continue on that basis, okay? And then I'm skipping a line and I'm going over here. I always make the title of the document in bold. So we'll do that here too. This is a notice of motion. And then because it's a longer title, I'll take 2 lines to introduce it. Okay. And now I'm actually going to go all the way up to here, and I'm going to address the spacing issue. Okay, we're having a bit of a spacing issue. I'm going to go with 1.0, and you'll notice not much changed, and that's because we did not do this selection. So we're going to make sure that we've removed the space before paragraph and removed the space after paragraph, giving us full control over any given amount of spacing. Okay. Now I am going to insert a um, a shape. Okay, so we're going to insert a shape. It'll be the line, and I'm going to superimpose it from here straight down. Okay, so we're going to go right about here, straight down, trying to make this thing as straight as possible, and I'll end it about right well, we'll go about right there. Okay, and you can kind of swing it to make it as straight as you need it to be. Always blue for court. I'm sorry, always black for court, excuse me. And we're going to insert again another shape. Here we go. And here we are. About there looks right. Now I want these to connect. That is the main thing that I wanted to show and showcase for you today. So this is looking like, and depending on how picky you are, you can go a little bit further up or whatever. I try to not include the line to, disrupt these elements. I just want it to go from this line up. So it's a little bit tall, but it's working and it works. Okay, so this is a proper caption. We have all of the elements here, and please, list any questions you may have in the comments. Okay, we're going to move on. So the actual body of this particular document, we can certainly talk about, and how I derived the law and the statutes that I'm referencing. For today, we're just going to copy and paste it because the content of this is not actually the content or the body of this document is not the primary focus of this particular video. It is how to draft the document. Okay, so we've performed our legal research, we've put our arguments in, and we're making it into the body. Okay, that is what's happening here. Okay, I tend to just have things nice and organized, nice and neat. You can see the caption looks pretty, and the on this side, you can see we used parentheses, we used the line method this time, and it's looking nice and things are clean and orderly. Now, if this looks sloppy, you can always, bring that down a line, in which case you could bring this up a line, and you can see how this gets very tedious very quickly. And I spoke with a lawyer or two in my day, and they claim that this is why they get paid so much, right? Because of the tedious nature of what they are having to go through all the time. And, any given little edit requires so much more in effort to, readjust and realign and things, especially when you are in federal court, because you're going to be disrupting your line items quite a bit if you make any change or adjustment, right? So I am gonna just go like this. I'm just gonna go, you know, okay. So now you can kind of see we've spaced this out from here, and it looks maybe a little bit more concise and neat and tidy. You get what I'm saying here, hopefully, that you can format how you choose, but it needs to have all these elements for your caption. Then we have the body of the document. Now, here is some things that I have found to be very effective from experience. Okay, we want page numbers for our documents, and on top of that, we want to address what the document is. This eliminates all confusion and malicious workings from the clerks to anybody, handling our paperwork, that they can, feign ignorance or act like they didn't get it, or, pretend like one of the pages in the document was not there ever, or what have you, right? So I'll show you how to enter in page numbers and the way that I do it now. So we go up to insert and we just do page number, and we'll do at the bottom of the page. Now again, I don't find it particularly useful to just simply do a number like a book, 1, 2, 3, 4. I like to have it be one of three, right? Or one of two. This denotes how many there actually were, and I like to have it in the center. Okay, so when we're doing this, I like to highlight it right away and make it congruent with the font. So I've got my font styling to match, and now, nobody can be upset that it wasn't matching font, right? And then I do an enter, and I go above it, and then I reference that same filing number. So I do 0004001 for myself, and then I write the title at the bottom. So now it's page 1 of 1, and they definitely know what document they're dealing with on every single page. And there cannot be any mistake, because even the, least bright among us can see what this is for what it is, because it's right there on the face of the document on every single page on the bottom. Okay, and there is no ambiguity as far as what we're working with. Then you close it right up there. And now we have page 1 of 1. Perfect, right? So we're going to continue. Now we're going to speak on the sign off. Okay. So here we go. We're going over here. I'm just going to enter and get to another page. All right. So look, it did page 1 of 2 now. So we're respectfully filing this. Now, in different jurisdictions, you'll notice that if you look into the statutes, and we'll talk about this in a different video, but sometimes there is and sometimes there isn't a necessity to notarize your documents. Now, if you use certain language, you don't have to notarize in North Dakota, and that language typically involves some form of affirmation to agree to be under penalty of perjury per whatever legal jurisdiction. So, per the United States code, or per the North Dakota, century code is what it's called here. Whatever your jurisdiction, typically you don't have to have a notarization if your sign off says something to the effect of, yeah, I respectfully, affirm under penalty of perjury, under the North Dakota state law or state statutes or what have you, that all of the foregoing is true and correct, and it is done in good faith, blah, 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 that kind of a thing. And you can sign off, and no need for a notary. In this example, I am going to show the necessity for a notary, or how we would do it with a notary, okay? So here is what we call so I'm just doing respectfully filed on blankety blank of March 2025. And I leave a place for me to print this off and sign it, okay? Now, this is what they call the signature block. Okay, and I've done it this way to show one way of doing things. Okay, I'm not saying this is how to do it. This is just the way that I do it. Okay, and so I'm going to type my signature, but just please know that, of course, we would be signing it with a pen and ink. Now, certain jurisdictions, if we're doing electronic filings, only accept black and white. So you're going to want to know what their filing requirements are. In that way you're not signing in blue ink and then expecting them to take it. But like, so for example, here in the Northwest Judicial District of North Dakota, electronic filings, everything has to be black and white. But if you go in person, it does not. So it depends on how you're filing these things. Here is an example of how I tend to sign my name. So everything I'm doing right now would actually be done in pen, and okay, and so I would superimpose that over or not superimpose, but I would write this over my signature, okay, And then here I would write it like this, and then I would, you know, okay. Okay, perfect. So that is more or less what my signature ends up looking like, okay? And okay, you get the idea though. I would have all rights reserved above it, without recourse above it, and then, I would have my actual signature line. I do include by because it distinguishes me from the corporate legal fiction. I'm not identifying as this, however, coming in the capacity of the as the authorized representative. That's explained in the USFL video that I have posted to the group, and feel free to watch that. I think it's around 20 minutes long only, so check that out. Now, okay, so look at this here. This is interesting, right? Frodo Baggins. Why did I say that? Okay, well, let's call it Frodo Boggins to avoid any copyright issues or infringements, okay? Why would I do that? Well, if I have a trust, that trust can actually do business as any name that I can dream up, and it does not have to be a registered name. This is not legal advice. This is just how Andrew tends to operate in commerce when doing certain things. So I'll pick whatever name I so choose with whomever I want to. Okay. For today, just for the ease and the simplicity, I am going to say it like this, though, okay? Just because not everybody has a trust. Everybody should, but not everybody does yet, okay? And so a lot of people are still operating out of the ens legis name using that social security number. You certainly don't have to do that, and this is a group that can speak on that. For now, let's just be very simple, right? Okay, so I'm actually not even going to come into the capacity as trustee. Okay, so this is by, Andrew Strand. Here we go. I'm really not liking how this is wanting to align itself, but we'll do it with it what we can. Okay, so something like that, right? There's our signature line. And I always, like I say, I always write the word by, no matter where I'm signing. If they don't have that, if they don't, I will write it in there myself. Okay, even on my own checks, everything. Okay, this distinguishes me again from this entity in a way that is unambiguous. Okay, so now we have Andrew Strand, authorized representative of that ens legis vessel. It is a vessel. Okay, so I'm going to leave that there. And then, of course, the address, 123 Hobbit Hole Lane, the city, right, the state, and then I, for one, don't ever identify with the federal zip code overlay system. However, you can choose to if you'd like. You don't have to put it in brackets. If I do, I always put it in brackets. That's my own decision. Four corners rule on that. I always include this. There is no situation ever, if I'm ever writing my address, that I will not express that I am coming in the jurisdiction of the United States of America. Okay? This is a way to unambiguously make and state on and for the record on the claim that I am actually coming in the United States of America, which is a republic and not a corporation. Okay? Then, of course, the phone number, 8675309, and the ever respectful Lynn Shaw Tyrants at email.com or whatever your email address happens to be. Now, I wouldn't actually sign this if I needed a notary until I was in the presence of a notary. I would not sign this until I was in the presence of a notary and they were witnessing my signature. Okay, I'm sure people know about Notary and just I'm just high level overview here. So now we have space down here to actually include a jurat. What's a jurat? What is a jurat? Let's see what AI can tell us. It's a clause at the foot of an affidavit, which ultimately is what all of our court filings are. People aren't going to tell you that, but I mean that's the truth. Okay, so a clause at the foot of an affidavit that certifies when, where, and before whom the oath was sworn or affirmation was made. I don't make oaths and I don't swear, so I always will write in my language that this affirmation I here duly affirm, that kind of a thing, right? But the idea here is that the jurat is a space for the notary to have, place on your document, a place for them to be present. Okay. and it comes from the Latin. It has been sworn. It's we just call it a jurat. Okay. So here's the first example, and we have the state of North Dakota, county of Williams. You can include those things. I tend to really pave the way to make it extremely easy um, for the notary. Okay, and I'll even show like an example of a notarized document. It would be, yeah, we'll use that one. Let's go here. Okay, we're gonna just find that file location really quick, and we will have, you know, sorry about this. Okay, we're gonna have uniform power of attorney. I think I had it as 999 somewhere else. Jeez, I can't seem to find it here today. But we'll go like this. Okay, so I like a very simple jurat. Some people want to have it be a little bit longer, and I'll just go through that with you now. So you'd make it very easy for them to just show up, sign their name, write their date of the when their commission expires, and then their seal. Okay. Now I'm gonna try to find it in the history of what I have recently been to. Hopefully, it will open. Yes. Okay. Perfect. So we'll review this for the notary jurat here in just a moment, but I'll explain it. So on this day, on this blank day, so I leave a blank there, right? Just as I've done a blank here, right? I kind of predicted that I'll make this happen in March, but maybe you've drafted this months in advance and you don't exactly know which month you're going to use, so you'll have a blank there. The year typically doesn't change. Sometimes people want to format the year as in the year of our Lord. That is up to them and how they want to craft what they're doing and what they're trying to communicate exactly. Before me, the undersigned notary public, who personally appeared, and then I leave a blank for my name for them to write in my name or me to write in my name, who is personally known to me or who provided identification. Okay, and then they'll sign it. Like I said, they'll write in that date of their commission expiration, and then they'll have a space. Always leave a space for their seal or their stamp. Okay, here's the one that is a lot less involved, and we'll actually use that on our document here today. So after my signature block, I go, a couple different, um, spaces down, right? And then I would do like this here. Okay, and then change the font. Very good. Look at that. All right, in the year of our Lord, and then it'd be 2025. Affirm to and subscribe before me, and so this jurat is simply drawing on what I've done here. It kind of made this whole thing the jurat, if that makes sense. And then she'll have that space, or he or she will have that space to do a seal right here. And again, we are looking at like here's a notarization I did for a power of attorney. Okay, right? So, and I just superimpose, I just did like it doesn't have to be perfect. Look, you can prove that you're working. Like, you can make edits. You can, this is like it doesn't need to be perfect. Okay, so state of North Dakota, county of Williams on the 22nd day of January, right? And it was 2020. I had to shimmy in the 2025 here because I didn't leave myself much room. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so that is what a jurat is. That is what a how to file, any given document and what the formatting needs to be looking like. Okay, coming up, I'm going to do another video talking about Article 3, Section 2. And in fact, I'm going to film that right now and I'll bring it up on Tuesday. This one will be released on Thursday. So we'll see you there. Thank you.